Hey guys, it's Scott with Scottie B Cards, and in this video I want to talk all about 2022 Topps Chrome and who the best rookies are. The checklist for 2022 Topps Chrome has just been released. It is scheduled to come out on the 16th, according to Blowout Cards. On their website, when you're actually purchasing it, says September 16th. So we have just been given all of the players, autographs, veteran autographs, everything else we want to know, what parallels are going to be there, and so forth for 2022 Topps Chrome. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 10 rookies according to 4 different metrics. They are their prospect ranking. If they're a top 10 prospect, they get 10 points. If they're a top 50 prospect, if they're number 55, they get 5 points. If they're number 80, they get 2 points, and so forth. And their age, if you're 20 years old, you get 10 points, 25, you get 5 points, 29, you get 1 point. Anybody above 30 does not get any points at all for that metric. Minor league stats, that's just 1 to 10 how well they've played, and major league stats, 1 to 10 how well they've been played. We weight them and divide it by 4, and that gives us our average score, and that will determine what ranking these players are on this list. There's a lot of rookies. I think there's like 50 or so rookies, and there's actually some rookies that are missing that should be on this list. So before we start this, I want to show the rookies that aren't on this list so you don't get mad at me. So here they are. Where are these players? Seiya Suzuki, he was the April Rookie of the Month. He's not even in Topps Chrome. Steven Kwan, Player of the Month in April as well, not even in Topps Chrome. McKenzie Gore has an autograph, not a base card. Spencer Strider has an autograph, but not a base card. Bryson Stott has an autograph, but no base card. Royce Lewis, and then others. But I guarantee there's more that Topps has either held out or just did not put in this release, which is really frustrating as a collector. I know their flagship rookie cards aren't out yet. Maybe that's the reasoning for it. But I don't believe CJ Abrams is out yet as well, but he has a Topps Chrome short print rookie in this set. So just something to be kind of considerate of. You might not want to go gung-ho buying Braves spots and breaks. You have an autograph chance of Spencer Strider, but you're probably better off just buying it because that's going to be a very, very tough pull because there's 107 rookie autographs on this checklist and 47 vet autographs on this checklist. Vet autographs are new to 2022 Topps Chrome. It's always been a rookie autograph product, but instead they introduced vet autographs. I am not a fan. There's some players that'll get your money, like Juan Soto's a huge chase. You have some cool players like Kyle Tucker. Kyle Seager hasn't even played this year, but that's still pretty cool. You have some other decent players, but overall, even if you pull a orange autograph of 90% of these players, it's going to be not worth much. It's just tough. Topps Chrome is watered down with vet autographs, and there's actually a new parallel. The new parallel is the purple speckle. We had the magenta speckle and all these other speckles, but now you have a purple refractor and a purple speckle refractor. So just look out for that. That's all the main news outside of what rookies are best to collect. Let's jump into it. I actually cheated, not top 10. We have Cal Raleigh at number 11. He does not have any prospect rankings, which is why you are seeing right now a 0. He's 25 years old. His minor league stats are good. Major league stats are also pretty good. So his average score was a 5. Let's go look at Cal Raleigh real quick. So you'll see he has 3.5 WAR this year. That's fantastic. His batting average is really low and his on base is pretty low as well. Still 70 points higher than your batting average is not bad. He's slugging really well and he's still getting on base okay. This isn't good. You want to be above at least a 310, 320, but compared to his batting average, it's okay. He's still walking. If we want to go look at his minor league stats, you can see right here, this says minors. He has had an 870 OPS in the minors, the 275 batting average, which is why he got such a high score. If we look at last year, he had a 324 batting average with a 985 OPS, which is also why it was so high. So overall, Cal Raleigh, honorable mention at number 11. After that, at number 10, we have Edward Cabrera. I had not really heard of Edward Cabrera all that much until I made this video. He was a 60th-ish top-ranked prospect, 24 years old. Minor league stats are good. They weren't like eye-popping, but they were good. His major league stats are better overall. So let's go look at him right now. So here's Edward Cabrera. Like I said, worth about 2 WAR this year. He has a 2.39 ERA through 9 starts, so not bad at all. If we go look at his prospect rankings, he was in the top 60 here. Major League Baseball actually put him in the top 30, so he could have had a higher point, but I went according to Baseball America because it matched with Baseball Prospectus. If we want to go look at his minor league stats, you'll see he has a career 3.46 ERA. He has been very, very good for the Marlins. Marlins always have pitching, and in the future, they may be a dominant team because of Sandy Alcantara and other great pitchers like Edward Cabrera are going to be under team control for so long. Pablo Lopez is another one. They're going to be a very good team in the future. After that, at number 9, we have Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh has a top 40 prospect, 24 years old. His minor league stats were pretty good. His major league stats are not that impressive if you want to look at traditional stats. Let's go check out Brandon Marsh. So here's Brandon Marsh again. Like I said, he's a top 30 to 40 prospect. He's 38th, 53rd, and 44th, so I gave him in the 40s. You know, he's worth 0.7 WAR this year. That's probably mostly contributed to defense because he's a good defender and good base runner, but he's not really doing as much as we would have hoped. If we look at his minor leagues last year, he had a 255 average with an 832 in AAA. Not crazy, but still was better than what he's doing right now offensively in the majors. His minor league stats for his career is a 290 hitter with an 812 OPS, stolen bases, decent power, and so forth. But right now, he just needs to figure out offensively how to be better. He has a ton of potential. He's always been a top prospect. His tools are all there. He needs to put it together. And once he does, he'll be a very solid contributor for the Phillies now. Crazy, he went from the Angels to the Phillies. At number 8, we have Rusney Contreras. Rusney Contreras is having a great year. Again, another player I hadn't really heard much about until this year, but he was, I think, around the 80th prospect, 22 years old. Minor league stats are amazing. Major league stats are amazing for a 6.25 score. Let's go look at his numbers. Right here, you're going to see he has a 1.4 WAR this year with a 3.41 ERA. He's top 80, top 71, top 80, and overall, his minor league stats are a 3.13 ERA over the course of the last 5 seasons. If we don't look at last year alone, he had a 2.64 ERA. He's been very, very good, and he's been very good for the Pirates. It'll be interesting if they start spending money next year, because if they do, he's going to be a big building piece around a lot of players like Brian Hayes and others. At number 7, we have some names we're recognizing. We have Spencer Torkelson. He is a top 10 prospect. We have 4 or 5 different top 10 prospects in this checklist, which makes it really, really strong. But Spencer Torkelson and these others are a very interesting circumstance I want to talk about. He's 22 years old. His minor league and college stats are really good, but his major league stats leave a lot to be desired. Let's go check out his stats. So here's Spencer Torkelson. He is a short print in 2022 Topps Chrome. You're not going to find Spencer Torkelson, Bobby Witt Jr., CJ Abrams, or Julio Rodriguez rookie cards very easily. They're all short prints, and so the odds of pulling one or all of them from a hobby box is not good. Another couple players you might want to consider buying singles of, just because it's probably easier to find them than actually ripping wax or joining breaks. I don't know what they're going to go for. I have no idea how short printed they're going to be. We saw this same thing in 2015 Topps Chrome with, I believe, Noah Syndergaard, Byron Buxton, Francisco Lindor, and Joey Gallo. But those 4 or 5 players in that set were short printed, and I'm actually a fan of short printing rookies because that makes the base worth more. You can even look at those players like Lindor's Topps Chrome rookie goes for a decent amount because there's less of them in comparison to, let's say, a Corey Seager in 2016. So he is a short print, and his offensive and defensive major league numbers this year are really bad. He's been a top 5 prospect for this whole season. Then he's had great minor league stats. You can see he has a 258 batting average, not great. Lots of power though. 35 home runs in only 156 minor league games with a 900 OPS. He just has to put it together at the big leagues. He was drafted out of college and basically went straight to a upper level A ball, AA, and then AAA, and he's been good in every single level. So overall, I think Spencer Torkelson will figure it out, but it kind of stinks when you're trying to buy rookie cards of players and he just hasn't really done it yet. But Spencer Torkelson is at number 7. After that, at number 6, we have Reed Detmers, pitcher for the Los Angeles Angels, 22 years old, top 20 pitching prospect. He came out of college really polished, and that's why he was ranked so highly. Minor league stats are good, major league stats are good as well. Let's go look at Reed Detmer's stats. Reed Detmer's minor league stats, 3 ERA. That's awesome. His college stats are even better. His last year was a 1.23 ERA. In the big leagues, he's been worth 2.2 WAR, 3.67 overall ERA, and he's been worth over 2 WAR. And again, he has been a top prospect for the last few years. So Reed Detmers, he threw a no-hitter this year as well. That's when the Angels were good. Remember those days? Now they're kind of crappy. It's unfortunate for Trout and Ohtani, but overall, Reed Detmers is going to be a solid pitcher for the Angels in the future. Do I think he's worth more than Spencer Torkelson in the future? Who knows? I probably would go with the hitter instead of the pitcher, but overall, this is just how it shook out in regards to his performance and Torkelson's performance currently. At number 5, we have ONeil Cruz. ONeil Cruz is an interesting person to look at. He is a top, I believe, 11 or 12th overall prospect, 23 years old. Minor league stats are pretty good. They're above average for sure, and they're pretty solid. Major league stats are also pretty good. He does some things well, does some other things really poorly. Let's go look at ONeil Cruz. ONeil Cruz has been worth 1.4 WAR for his career, 1.3 WAR this year, and that's because he's also a good defender. He hits the ball extremely hard and throws the ball extremely hard, and because of that, he's been worth positive WAR. He also has an OPS plus. 100 is league average. He is below league average. OPS plus takes your OPS according to ballpark factors and the league average OPS and gives you a score with OPS plus, and that's where he's at right now. I think he'll be able to bounce back. So if you look at his minor league stats for his career, he's a 275 hitter with an 800 OPS, 58 home runs, 71 stolen bases. He has all the tools, which is why heading into this year, he was a top 14th overall prospect according to Baseball America, but he just needs to figure out how to be more consistent. It's so cool hitting the ball hard, but if you don't hit it hard very often, it makes you not a great ball player. So I think he will develop, and when the shift is already banned heading into next year, maybe it will benefit him a little bit where he's hitting the ball really hard and he'll get past people instead of directly at people in right field or wherever they're actually going to be standing. So that is ONeil Cruz at number 5. At number 4, we have CJ Abrams. You're probably surprised CJ Abrams is this high, but the reason I have CJ Abrams this high is because he is a top 10 prospect. The second one we've seen in the list so far far. 21 years old. His minor league stats are really, really, really good. His major league stats they're okay at this point. So he has a 7.5 overall score. Let's go look at CJ Abrams. He's also a short print. Here you can see he's been worth nothing. In 200 at-bats, he's been worth not negative, not positive WAR. He's been a very average ball player. His OPS plus is much worse than ONeil Cruz at 69. That's really low. His OPS is only a 579. His batting average is nothing special right now at a 230. But again, he's 21 years old and he hasn't really played that much in the minor leagues, only 114 games. In those 114 games though, he has 12 home runs, 42 stolen bases, a 331 average, and an 896 OPS. So he has all the tools. That's the thing with a lot of these players. He has all the tools necessary to be good. It's just experience. And now that he's with the Nationals, he's going to have plenty of experience. And for that reason, I think he is a decent pickup if you're speculating. Never recommending ever to buy a specific player. Even when I said buy Mike Trout, do your own research. Don't listen to me specifically. But this is a player that has more potential than most in Major League Baseball as a 21-year-old. Now we have number 3, Bobby Witt Jr. We kind of know who the top 3 are. It's just what order we're going to put them in. He is also a top 10 prospect, 22 years old. His minor league stats are awesome. His major league stats are good. And I'll explain why it's not higher than a 6.5. That gave him an 8.125 overall. Let's go look at Bobby Witt Jr. He's also a short print along with Spencer Torkelson and CJ Abrams. But Bobby Witt, number 3 overall, number 1 overall, number 1 overall. He's been worth 0.7 WAR is all. That's less than ONeil Cruz. And the reason for that, I didn't show it on the slide. He's been one of the worst defenders in Major League Baseball this year, according to multiple different defensive metrics. The thing that's interesting about Bobby Witt Jr. is he makes all the hard plays. It's just he's not making all the easy plays according to these metrics, or not being above average. So if we want to look at his stats, he has a 20 home runs, 20 stolen base season. That's really impressive. Does not happen often. This year we have 2 players. We'll talk about the second player in just a moment, but he has all the tools to be solid again. He's going to move to third base instead of shortstop just because of the way that he's been playing already in the big leagues and what he's been projected as. But in the minor leagues, he had a 283 batting average with an 870 OPS. If we want to look at him this last year, he had a 290 batting average, 936 OPS with 29 stolen bases in only 124 games. So he's actually having a pretty similar year, just a little bit less power and a batting average. That's not too crazy because he's in the big leagues adjusting to much, much, much better pitching. And this is a very promising season for a 22-year-old. Once his defense improves, if he can improve his defense and he can get his batting average up a little bit, I think Bobby Witt Jr. is going to have a fantastic major league career. At number 2, we have Wander Franco. You might be surprised he's at number 2. And that's because Julio Rodriguez has just been better so far throughout his career in the big leagues. Let's go look at Wander Franco. He is still really good. I understand he hasn't played much this year, but in the very limited games he's played, he's only had 227 at-bats. He has 1.7 WAR. I don't have it on the screen, but if we do look at his WAR per 162 games played, he's worth around 6.6 WAR. So if he plays all these games, he's gonna be a very good ball player. It's just he needs to stay healthy and stay on the field. He was fine in 2021. Basically, this is because he got called up later in the year. This year, he's had multiple injuries. He broke his hamate bone in his hand just barely. Should be back soon from that, hopefully, if not in the postseason. So overall, Wander Franco may not have the sexiest OPS or OPS plus, which is the same as Bobby Witt Jr.'s. He's also younger than Bobby Witt Jr., but he does have a track record in the minor leagues. His minor league stats are amazing. A 335 batting average, 939 OPS, 27 home runs, and just everything he does well. Stolen bases and caught stealing is not super sexy, but he walks more than he strikes out in the minor leagues. That's a pretty big deal. That has not translated in the big leagues necessarily, but still 41 walks to 63 strikeouts is not bad compared to someone like a Joey Gallo, or even most major league players like Paul Goldschmidt or Mike Trout. They strike out much more than they walk in comparison to Wander Franco. So Wander Franco, he's a short print. I think he's a great buy if you have the foresight to think he's going to be healthy in the future. If you want to take that risk, he could be a good pickup because his cards have dropped so much. And at number 1, we have Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez is also a top 10 prospect. So there's 5 top 10 prospects in this set, which is really, really promising. He is also 21 years old. Minor league stats are just as good as Wander Franco's, but he's been better in the big leagues this year. Let's go look at Julio Rodriguez. He's been worth 5 WAR. 5 WAR for a rookie at age 21 is really, really good. On top of that, 134 OPS plus. He also has 23 home runs, 24 stolen bases, and he's just tracking to be one of the best defensive and offensive center fielders in all of baseball at age 21. He probably has the brightest future alongside Wander Franco in my eyes. I think Wander's going to be good, but Julio's going to be flashier because he gets a lot more defensive highlights and he does have a little bit more power in his bat. And that's what people pay money for in cards, which whether fair or not, that's how it is. So overall, this set, let's discuss if it's worth buying. It's watered down. I'm going to be honest, it is super watered down and compared to recent history. I will say it's better than the last few years of Topps Chrome, so if you want to take a risk, go for it. But the boxes are very expensive. So I think I saw pre-orders at like $350. That's not cheap. So should you buy it? Totally up to you. If you want to have fun and rip some wax, for sure. If you want to join some breaks for a couple of these SP chases or rookie autographs, go for it. But if you have a limited budget, you might be better off buying the rookie cards of these short prints or of the autographs of these players instead. Just because most of us are not going to do very well with the 107 rookies and the 47 vet autographs on this checklist. I do think it's a much better checklist than we've seen in a very, very long time for Topps Chrome. I just wish it could have been a little bit better with Stephen Kwan and Seiya Suzuki and Mackenzie Gore and Royce O'Neal and all those other players, Spencer Strider, that we're missing base cards of. But still a great set. Let me know in the comments below if you're buying this set, who you're chasing. And other than that, I'll catch you in the next video.